Good morning, you beautiful survivors of this week's nonsense. It's Saturday, May 3rd, and the news is running a little late today because I kid you not, my basement tried to reenact Noah's Ark without warning. I woke up to an indoor waiting pool and the vague sense that the end times now include sump pump maintenance. So yes, today's headlines are slightly delayed, but fully drenched in drama. We've got President Trump threatening Harvard like it owes him lunch money, a town hall protester yelling at AOC like she runs foreign policy, and a birthday military parade so extra it could only belong to one man. In 3, 2, 1, let's dive into the flood of foolishness. Trump versus Harvard, the tax-exempt showdown. Well, President Trump is back at it, and this time he's setting his sights on Harvard University. In a fiery Truth Social post, he declared, "We are going to be taking away Harvard's tax-exempt status. It's what they deserve." Why the sudden vendetta? It all started when Harvard refused to comply with the administration's demands to overhaul its diversity programs, cooperate with immigration authorities, and reform international student admissions. In response, the Trump administration froze over $2 billion in federal funding to the university. Harvard's president, Alan Garber, isn't taking this lying down. He slammed the threats as highly illegal and warned that such actions could set a dangerous precedent for academic freedom. Legal experts are raising eyebrows too. Federal law prohibits the president from directing the IRS to target specific organizations. So unless Trump has found a new loophole, this might not hold up in court. But let's not forget the real victims here, students and researchers. Losing tax-exempt status could mean a higher tuition, reduced financial aid, and cuts to groundbreaking research program. All because someone didn't get their way. And by someone, we mean a full-grown man-child with a Wi-Fi signal and a vendetta. So as this Ivy League drama unfolds, one thing's clear. When it comes to higher education, the stakes have never been higher. AOC town hall turns tense, but the outrage is misdirected. At her latest town hall in Queens, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was interrupted by a protester accusing her of supporting genocide in Gaza. The woman shouted over AOC, called her a liar, and was eventually escorted out by security, calmly, without incident. Which is honestly impressive, considering if this had happened at a Marjorie Taylor Greene town hall, that woman would have been tased, zip-tied, and tossed into a Homeland Security van before she could scream "Free Palestine." People have literally been arrested at Greene's events for less, like asking questions less. Now about the accusation. AOC isn't the president. She's not the commander-in-chief. She can't launch missiles or negotiate ceasefires. She doesn't have a pocket constitution where Article 1, Section 1, "You make the war stop," exists. In fact, AOC has publicly called Israelis' assault on Gaza a genocide, pushed to cut military aid, and advocated for humanitarian relief. Meanwhile, the two men who could actually stop this horror show are Donald "I'll end the war in 24 hours" Trump, who made that promise while not even holding office, and Bibi "bomb now, explain never" Netanyahu, who swiped left on every ceasefire offer like it was a spam call. So if you're gonna yell in the direction of the guy with nukes and veto power, not the congresswoman who's literally been trying to defund the disaster. Top headlines. Trump wants a military parade for his birthday because balloons just aren't enough. President Trump has requested a full-blown military parade on June 14th to celebrate his 79th birthday because nothing says stable genius like tanks, helicopters, and 6,600 troops marching in your honor. The parade also just so happens to coincide with the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary, but let's be honest, this is less about history and more about giving one man-child the loudest birthday present on Earth because cake and candles just didn't stroke the ego hard enough. Meanwhile, behind the fireworks and flag waving, Trump's proposing $163 billion in cuts to social programs. But don't worry, the Pentagon's budget is going up 13% because apparently "let them eat missiles" is the new party theme. Australia re-elects Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. In a decisive victory, Australia's Labour Party, led by Anthony Albanese, secured a majority government in the federal election. The win is seen as a public endorsement of the party's policies and leadership. U.S. Supreme Court considers major environmental regulation case. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear a case that could significantly impact federal environmental regulations. The case challenges the authority of the Environmental Protection Agency to enforce certain emission standards with potential implications for climate change policies nationwide. The 151st Kentucky Derby takes place today in Louisville with anticipation high despite forecasts of muddy track conditions. The winner's purse is set at $5 million and the get-in price starts at $16.45. U.S. stock market rallies amid AI optimism. The Dow Jones, S&P 500, and NASDAQ indexes each gained around 3%, driven by optimism in AI trade developments. Tech giants like Microsoft and Meta post strong earnings, boosting investor confidence. Russian drone attack injures dozens in Kharkiv. A Russian drone strike on Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city, injured 47 people and damaged multiple residential and infrastructure sites. Ukrainian officials stated the drones used thermobaric warheads, potentially violating international humanitarian laws. Mayday protests sweep across the globe. International Workers' Day sees massive protests worldwide, with demonstrations in France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the United States. In the U.S., the 50501 movement organizes over 1,000 protests opposing the Trump administration's policies. And that's your Saturday news, served hot, petty, and slightly waterlogged. We covered Trump threatening Harvard like it cheated off of his Scranton, a protester screaming at AOC like she controls the Pentagon, and a birthday bash with enough firepower to make Kim Jong-un jealous. Meanwhile, I survived a basement flood of biblical proportion and still showed up with eyeliner and attitude because the news waits for no mop. If you loved the drama, laughed at the chaos, or just enjoy watching democracy swirl in the spin cycle, like, follow, and subscribe. It keeps the sass flowing and the sump pump humming. And for the full unfiltered version, head over to YouTube. Links in bio. Now go hydrate, stretch your sarcasm muscles, and I'll see you tomorrow for more truth, tantrums, and tank parades. See you tomorrow!